Do you admit to your participation in snatchings and unaliving plans? The judge asked. Yes, said Ovidio Guzman Lopez. Is that cooperating? Part of the game. Get in the game, expect it. Expect it. Know that it's coming. Oh, but I got a solid group of guys. Till it's not. The history is proven fact. Okay? Proven fact. That the shit don't last forever. Cut bait. Go do a food channel. Make a rap record. Do something. With those words heard in a Chicago federal courtroom, one of the sons of imprisoned Mexican rug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman pleaded guilty on Friday, July 11th, to 4 criminal counts in 2 related rug trafficking cases targeting the notorious Sinaloa cartel. Ovidio Guzman Lopez, 35, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of rug trafficking and 2 counts of participation in a continuing criminal enterprise before U.S. District Judge Sharon Coleman in Chicago. He faces a possible life sentence, however. According to the plea, he faces a possible life sentence. However, according to the plea agreement filed on June 11th, Ovidio is fully cooperating with prosecutors. Well, there's the words right there. And I know y'all saying, Shy, no shit. We know he's talking, Shy. We know. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. Just my point is that enough with the snitch and cooperator argument. Enough with the jerseys. They will all falter. They all gonna talk. The ones that don't, cool. Raise a statue to them. Whatever you want to do, bro. Superman get knocked over when them feds come a-knocking. They bound to snitch. They ain't grow up in the streets. They were both born generational wealth and shit. Yeah, man. They were given permission. How about that? There was an entire meeting, an entire conversation that said, listen, when the shit get thick, do what you got to do. Remember that? So not only were they, born, like you said, for it and bound to it, but they were given permission. Ovidio Guzman Lopez admitted to 4 charges, 2 stemming from an indictment in Illinois and 2 from an indictment out of New York. You see, they just shut that New York shit down and handle it here. The charges included international rug trafficking and engaging in a criminal enterprise. Ovidio's plea agreement. Guzman Lopez admitted to a range of charges in court that detail when he became involved in his father's operation, the role that he played, and how he had a direct hand in ordering people to be unalived. He became closely involved in the cartel around 2012 at 21 years old and became a key logistical coordinator in moving illegal rugs from South and Central America to the U.S. via everything from submarines to tunnels at the U.S.-Mexico border. Guzman Lopez also had a hand in making sure profits made it back to the cartel. Among ways they laundered the money, cartel operators relied on cryptocurrency. Prosecutors said, boy, these boys got the crypto before me. I'm a failure. Says Ovidio Guzman did conspire with Ivan Archibaldo Guzman Salazar, Jesus Alfredo Guzman Salazar, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, Joaquin Guzman Loera, Ismael Zambada Garcia, Damaso Lopez Nunez, and with other known and unknown, to knowingly and intentionally possess, with intent to distribute a controlled substance, namely 5 kilos or more of a mixture and substance containing a detectable amount of brocaine. Mira que 5 kilos. How dare you put that smut on their name? Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. You put that smut on their name. Guzman Loera and Zambada Garcia and members of the associates of the Sinaloa cartel under them, including 4 of Guzman Loera's sons, Guzman Lopez, Ivan, Alfredo, Joaquin, the Chapitos, coordinated the rug trafficking activities to import and manufacture large quantities of brocaine, heroin, method man, and MJ, including from Central and South America. Guzman Lopez and others pooled their collective resources, coordinated their activities to cause large quantities of brocane and other rugs and rug precursor chemicals to be imported from Central and South American countries, including Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, Peru, Panama, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Guatemala, and from elsewhere to Mexico using various means, including cargo aircraft, private aircraft, submarines, and other submersibles and semi-submersible vessels, container ships, supply vessels, go-fast boats, fishing vessels, buses, rail cars, tractors, trailers, automobiles, and private and commercial interstate and foreign carriers. Planes, trains, and automobiles, motherfucker, just say it. Golden spoon in their mouth. It's okay for them. I mean, that's what they said, right? As Jake said, it's the end of the Sinaloa cartel. As far as I'm concerned, that organization specifically no longer exists. Now it's just the pieces that are left over. That's something different. Something else happened. Following Guzman Loera's arrest in 2016 and extradition in 2017, Guzman Lopez and his brother assumed their father's former role as leader of the Sinaloa cartel along with Zambada Garcia and Damaso Lopez Nunez. Eventually, Guzman Lopez, his brothers, and others amassed greater control over the Sinaloa cartel by threatening to cause violence and causing violence against Damaso Lopez Nunez and his family and associates. It kind of ended when the old man ended up on that plane and when they got into that shit. Like, it was over. It wasn't the same thing no more. It's just going to fragment. I don't think there was ever actual cartel. It was just the fragments, right? The bad blood in that situation is crazy. He invested along with others in an approximately 40-ton shipment of MJ that was transported to Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, with the intent to be imported and distributed in the U.S. Approximately 20 tons of MJ were seized by law enforcement in or around Hermosillo. Of the remaining approximately 20 tons, approximately 3 to 4 tons were transported to and sold in and around Los Angeles, California. Y'all smoked that shit, alright? Some of y'all smoked that shit. To protect and further the Sinaloa cartel's Fetty Wap trafficking operation, Guzman Lopez and his associates regularly used machine hammers and perpetrated violence against law enforcement officials, civilians, and rival rug traffickers. For example, on or about January 5th, 2023, members of the Sinaloa cartel engaged in a shootout using AKs and other military-grade weapons with Mexican law enforcement authorities in an attempt to prevent Guzman Lopez's arrest, which resulted in the deaths of unalivings of dozens of individuals. The snatching and unaliving of Jesus Antonio Munoz Parra, also known as Montana, the unaliving of Mario Nungaray Bobadilla, also known as Liebre, the snatching and unaliving of Giovanni El Hurtado Vicente, also known as Amigo, in Jalisco and Sonora. And amongst other things, Fetty Wap importation conspiracy. Guzman was one of several principal administrators, organizers, and leaders of the continuing criminal enterprise, and where the violations involved at least 300 times the quantity of mixtures and substance containing a detectable amount of Fetty Wap. I like when they do the highlighting here. It makes me cut through a lot of bullshit. Prosecutors in court also tied the sons of El Pocha to 3 unalivings in both the United States and Mexico. Do you admit to your participation in the snatching and unaliving plans? The judge asked. Yes, said Ovidio Guzman Lopez. All right? So for all you people that hold that no-snitching shit to your chest and believe that your favorite superheroes ain't gonna talk. Yo vivo tranquila con la penetration. The first listed in the indictment plea agreement was a member of the Damaso Lopez faction of the Sinaloa cartel who was unalived on December 30th, 2018. Jesus Antonio Munoz Parra, also known as Tony Montana. Another victim, the cousin of Damaso Lopez Serrano El Minilik, Mario Nungaray Bobadilla, was unalived in Phoenix, Arizona on May 6, 2021. Giovanni Hurtado Vicente, also known as Amigo, was unalived October 21st, 2021 in Mexico. Responses to the plea deal. Guzman Lopez defense attorney Jeffrey Lichtman declined to share details of the plea agreement. He seemed to indicate that his client could shed light on corruption in Mexico and criticized comments from Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum that the U.S. was negotiating with terrorists. I mean, they're not? Are they or are they not? Like, which one is it? Far be it from me to defend the American government. They're not exactly my friends in these cases, the lawyer known best for representing El Pocha in 2018 told reporters outside the courtroom. That being said, the idea that the American government would include the Mexican government in any kind of American legal decision negotiation is absurd. Lichtman referenced public corruption cases in Mexico and Bartel leaders where he says Mexican authorities did nothing. Oh, shit. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Friday criticized the lack of coherence in American policy towards Mexican Bartels, highlighting the disparity between the U.S. government declaring Bartels foreign terrorist organizations, but also striking plea deals with their leaders. U.S. prosecutors celebrated the deal they struck with Guzman Lopez. Think about all of the good people that are getting deported and arrested before they get sent back to Mexico. And then just think about how these people did a deal, did a bunch of bad shit, then did a deal, got a bunch of people hopped over the border in the midst of all of that shit. Crazy. U.S. prosecutors celebrated the deal they struck with Guzman Lopez. With each passing day, you're seeing the sunset of the Sinaloa Bartels, said Adam Gordon, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of California and is involved in the case. The Chapados' latest violence reflects their fading future. Their leaders who remain free are now paranoid, distrusted, and desperate. Today's historic guilty plea sends yet another crystal clear message that this administration is going to shut down and hold accountable transnational criminal organizations and their highest ranking members and associates, said U.S. Attorney Boutros. I got a poll. Let's put up a poll. Will Ivan and Alfredo turn themselves in for a deal or go out on their shield? Under my leadership, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago will continue to prioritize the investigation and prosecution of rogue Bartels, several of which, including the Sinaloa Bartel, have been designated as foreign terrorist organizations. Our enforcement work will also extend to drug trafficking organizations, narcotics traffickers, and other dangerous criminal enterprises that seek to poison the American public with illegal and harmful drugs. It sounds like America's picked their poison, bro. Fuck are we talking about here? You know what I mean? They're gonna make, if they're not gonna get it from them, they're gonna start planting that shit. They're gonna do something. They're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, they picked their poison. Our successes stem from our close partnership with federal prosecutors across the country, as well as our tight collaboration with our many law enforcement partners. Joaquin's case. Lichtman said he didn't know whether the case against Joaquin Guzman Lopez could be resolved with a plea deal, noting that it is completely different. Remember, Joaquin was arrested in America well after Ovidio was, so it takes time, he said. Lori Levinson, a law professor at Loyola Law School and former assistant U.S. attorney in L.A., said that Guzman Lopez, by pleading guilty, may have saved other family members. In this way, he has some control over who he's cooperating against and what the world will know about that cooperation. Just know they're cooperating. U.S. District Judge Sharon Johnson Coleman delayed sentencing for Ovidio. Another hearing is expected in 6 months. His brother Joaquin has not been in the BOP system since October 2024, and his hearing has been delayed several times. All right? Nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here. Something seems to be going on back there, but nothing to see here. Shy, it makes sense because all of the rumors of the Bartels will call U.S. agencies. Bro, this shit is so intertwined and so connected that... And that's the question. How far are they going to keep going with this deal? Everybody get a deal. Bring them over. What are you getting out of these deals? You know what I mean? What's the final, outcome of the fucking deal? What'd you get? What y'all think, man? It's a wrap, boy. Another one bites the dust. All right, you got another protected government witness by the name of Ovidio Guzman Lopez. There he is, y'all. Listen, just Just a year and a half ago, you come in here and the major conversation was, the twins, snitches, rats. Realize that this is the game that the cartel plays. The unthinkable has happened since we've been on this channel. The unimaginable. And all of the chaperos and everybody that y'all was watching on TikToks with their APs and their Rolexes and their shiny guns with butt cheeks on them and shit, golden fucking titties and shit, I mean. All them dudes, they pulled the lifeline. They, case of emergency, break glass. But you can't do that shit. They'll hold you to it. Becoming a rat is the easiest thing to do, and that's why I salute to the ones that stay strong. Yeah, salute to them. Salute to them. I'm not with the camp. They say, oh, they're fucking dummies. No, they live by a code. It don't have to be your code. It's the code they chose. This guy cooperated. Stay out the game. If the guys at the top are talking, there's no hope for you. Do you not understand that? If the guys at the top are talking, there's no hope for you.